The Roman-Parthian Wars were a long series of conflicts fought between the Roman Republic and later the Roman Empire and the Parthian Empire. These wars lasted for nearly 300 years, from the 1st century BC to the 3rd century AD. They were not one single war, but many wars, invasions, battles, and political struggles. The main reason for these wars was the desire of both empires to control the rich lands of the Near East, especially Armenia, Mesopotamia, and Syria. These regions were important because they were crossroads of trade, culture, and military power. The Roman Empire was centered around the Mediterranean Sea and was famous for its strong infantry armies called legions. Rome believed in expansion and control through direct rule. The Parthian Empire, on the other hand, was located in modern-day Iran and Iraq and was ruled by kings. The Parthians were famous for their fast cavalry, especially horse archers and heavily armored horsemen called cataphracts. Because both empires were powerful but very different, their clashes were intense and often surprising. One of the main causes of the Roman-Parthian Wars was Armenia. Armenia was a small but important kingdom located between Rome and Parthia. Both empires wanted Armenia as a buffer state, meaning a friendly country that would protect their borders. Whenever one empire tried to place its own king on the Armenian throne, the other empire would respond with war. This made Armenia a constant battlefield and a source of tension for centuries. The first major conflict began in the 1st century BC. When Rome started expanding eastward after conquering Greece and Asia Minor, Roman leaders believed they had the right and strength to rule the entire known world. One Roman general, Marcus Licinius Crassus, was especially ambitious. He was one of the richest men in Rome and wanted military glory to match his wealth. In 53 BC, Crassus invaded Parthian territory without good planning or understanding of Parthian warfare. This invasion led to the famous Battle of Carrhae. The Roman army, made up of heavy infantry, marched into the desert. The Parthians used their cavalry wisely. Their horse archers attacked from a distance, shooting arrows non-stop, while their cataphracts charged when the Romans were weak. The Romans could not catch the fast Parthian horses, and their tight formations became useless. The result was a disaster. Crassus was killed, and tens of thousands of Roman soldiers were killed or captured. This battle shocked Rome and proved that Parthia was a serious rival. After the defeat at Carrhae, Rome did not forget its humiliation. However, Rome was also busy with civil wars, including the conflict between Julius Caesar, Pompey, and later Mark Antony and Octavian, Augustus. Julius Caesar planned a campaign against Parthia, but he was assassinated before he could begin. Later, Mark Antony, one of Caesar's allies, tried to defeat Parthia in the 30s BC. His campaign failed due to poor planning, supply problems, and strong Parthian resistance. Antony lost many soldiers and returned to Rome in shame. When Augustus became the first Roman emperor, he chose a different approach. Instead of full war, he used diplomacy. In 20 BC, Augustus negotiated with the Parthian king and peacefully recovered the Roman military standards that were lost at Carrhae. This was a great propaganda victory for Rome. Augustus presented it as a triumph, even though there was no major battle. For some time, Rome and Parthia avoided large wars, but tensions never disappeared. During the 1st century AD, fighting broke out again, mainly over Armenia. Roman emperors like Nero sent generals to the east to defend Roman influence. One important general was Corbulo, who led successful campaigns and restored Roman power in Armenia. Eventually, Rome and Parthia agreed on a compromise. Armenia would be ruled by a Parthian prince, but he would be approved by the Roman emperor. This showed how neither empire could fully defeat the other. In the 2nd century AD, the wars became more intense. The Roman Emperor Trajan was very ambitious and wanted to achieve what Crassus and Antony could not. In 114 AD, Trajan invaded Armenia and then moved deep into Mesopotamia, capturing major cities like Ctesiphon, the Parthian capital. For a brief time, Rome controlled more eastern land than ever before. Trajan even reached the Persian Gulf, something no Roman had done before. However, Trajan's success did not last long. The conquered lands were difficult to control. Local revolts broke out, and Roman supply lines were stretched too far. After Trajan's death in 117 AD, his successor Hadrian decided to abandon most of the eastern conquests. Hadrian believed in defending borders rather than expanding them. This decision showed a major weakness in Roman strategy. Conquering Parthia was possible, but holding it was extremely hard. Later in the 2nd century, another major war occurred under Emperor Lucius Verus. The Parthians invaded Roman territory, but Roman forces eventually pushed them back and again captured Ctesiphon. Although Rome won the war, the returning soldiers brought back a deadly plague known as the Antonine Plague. This disease killed millions across the empire and weakened Rome greatly. In this way, even Roman victories came with terrible costs. Throughout these wars, the Parthians showed great skill in defense. They rarely tried to conquer Roman lands permanently. Instead, they focused on protecting their territory and weakening Roman armies. Their cavalry-based warfare was very effective against Roman legions. The famous Parthian shot, where horse archers shot arrows while retreating, became legendary and feared by Roman soldiers. In the early 3rd century AD, the Parthian Empire began to weaken due to internal struggles. In 224 AD, the Parthians were overthrown by a new Persian dynasty called the Sassanid Empire. This did not bring peace. Instead, the Romans now faced an even stronger and more organized enemy. The Roman-Parthian Wars officially ended, but they were immediately followed by the Roman-Sassanid Wars, which continued the same long struggle for control of the East. The Roman-Parthian Wars were important for many reasons. They showed that Rome was not unbeatable. Parthia proved that a powerful Eastern empire could stand against Rome for centuries. These wars also influenced military tactics. The Romans slowly learned to use more cavalry and adapt to Eastern warfare. Trade between East and West continued despite the wars, especially along the Silk Road, allowing ideas, goods, and cultures to spread. In conclusion, the Roman-Parthian Wars were a long and complex struggle between two great empires. Neither side was able to destroy the other. Instead, the wars ended in a balance of power, with borders shifting but never fully breaking. These conflicts shaped the history of the ancient world and laid the foundation for later struggles between Rome and Persia. They remind us that even the greatest empires face limits, and that power, pride, and ambition often lead to long and costly wars.